Hello. Well, it's always good to be back, you know. I just love it when I get to meet my congregants out there. We are congregants. Show some love to yourselves, man. My dear congregants. Let me tell you something. Very, very important things we're going to be talking about today. Issue 1. You know, sometimes I feel pained when the NPP thinks, oh, KSM, they're always against us. Trust me, folks, if the NPP will listen to my advice, they will skyrocket. But they won't listen to me. It pains me. Look, folks, NPP is a giant in Ghana history. Or they are supposed to be giants. What kind of history? How came together? They're supposed to be giants. You know? Sadly, folks, the current leadership has turned the NPP from the giants that they were to what I call, my new word for NPP is neophytes practicing politics. Neophyte, and insult. N-E-O, neo, and then fight, P-H-Y-T-E. Those of you who think I'm insulting, you go and check the word neophyte. And I know that the leaders understand what I'm saying. The leaders have turned NPP into neophytes practicing politics. Honestly, if you can up your game, leadership, if you can up your game and think strategically, you'll be amazed that you can bounce back. But you rule everything out. Well, simple thing I'm going to say, when you speak so that you try and attract the hearts and the minds of Ghanaians. You're not going to avoid you attracting the hearts and the minds of the people. But you speak and you repel. I'm sorry. Take my advice. Now listen, folks. There's this whole issue that was a big issue. That is it LGBTQ? I'm sorry. That bill should be passed. There was so much politics. When this was in position, they were talking against it. Now they are the administration. Pass it. You are afraid to pass it. People have been said, ministers have been heard in parliament talking about it. Well, now you're afraid to pass the bill. Pass the bill.
There seems to be a clear attempt by NDC government to run away from this bill. And we're asking the question, why are they running away from this bill? A bill that they thought was important yesterday must be important today. Even more so, recent developments have heightened the discomfort of Ghanaians. At the time when we began this bill in 2021, we never had 2 South African gay couples coming to the Independence Square to openly kiss and declare themselves gay couple and declaring independence and freedom, calling out every practitioner of LGBT to show up. We did not see that. But under President Mahama, that has occurred. So we are demanding that that bill must be reintroduced today. An addendum must be raised for it to be brought back. We will not allow NDC government to run away from the bill. It's a bill that is important to all of Ghanaians. We all know the propaganda they put up to this bill, the lies they peddled. But we passed it when we were in government. Why are they running away from passing the bill? We are demanding that the Human Sexual Rights and Family Values Bill be passed now. Be passed now. And not deferred to any other time.
The reality is that they don't want to pass and sign it. Because they know that the things they did while in opposition, they did it with political motivations. So now they are caught by their own words. That's where LGBT is. So now they are caught. You know, the president is signing bills in parliament. Signing bills at the Jubilee House. This one, where you call them, they'll say, hey, it's in parliament, it's all part of the scam.
Now check this out, folks. The bill has not been passed. JM is not here, he's in the UK. He says, when I come to Ghana, I will sign the bill.
If the parliament of the people of Ghana endorse the bill and vote on it and pass it, and it comes to me as president, I will sign it.
and would have thought that everybody say, aha, finally, you're going to sign the bill. But now, the goalpost has shifted. Kojo Nkrumah says, oh, it's an empty bill. Reverend Tim Fojo, my nephew, is empty. And I like the word they're using. It has been watered down.
Mr. Speaker, I disagree with the attempt by the committee of this House to use amendment to water down the very bill that our friends, when they were in opposition, pushed it on the country. The people of Ghana can see through the double standard, the lack of principle. And I'm putting it to you, Majority Leader, that your side lack principle. Your side lack principle. And that is a political statement coming from this side of the House to me. How can you, the very law that you wanted signed today, when it's your turn, you are amending, so you know that you can take away all these clauses? Where is Sam George? Where is Sam George? Where is Sam George? This is political double standard, lack of principle, and now you want to water it down. So you don't want it?
You know, folks, I want to give my commentary on it, but not today. Not today. I just want all those who are arguing strongly that the bill has been watered down, please come. Press conferences, they say that's something that we know you can do. Have a press conference and show Ghanaians how it has been watered down. This is what the original said, and this is the watered down version. Number two, this is what the original said, and this is how it has been watered down. Won't compare one after the other. This is the original, and this is with a watered down version, so that all Ghanaians will now understand you and see why it is watered down. At that point, it's only at that point that I can give my comments. But right now, I want to see how it has been watered down. So in the meantime, in between time, NPP in opposition, what you are doing very well is that you want the whole world to see that your numbers don't count. You are still active. You are still dynamic. You will still soldier on. And I salute you. I salute you. It's great to be active and to soldier on and to make statements. It's great. But make the statements that attract the hearts and the minds of the people. Don't make statements that, you are getting there. And I started saying this long ago. Can go back to my tapes. When I started saying this, that this approach that we are all in all, dear, you're pushing people away. Folks, let me tell you something that has happened recently that in my books, I think is one of the most embarrassing moments in the history of any African country. And I'm putting it in context though. I'm saying it is one of the most, if not the most, embarrassing moments in the history of any African country. The context is that Africa is on the rise. We are now trying to prove ourselves, and we have to get to the point where we will say that we are capable of managing our own affairs. We are battling with colonialism and a whole host of things. But no, we are rising. And for me, let me put the context. For a country that is about to turn 70 years as a proud, sovereign African country, for a country that's about to turn 70 years, for me, one of the most embarrassing moments to date is to see a whole group of parliamentarians going to the European Union, complaining about Ghana. It makes me think about when we were kids, you know, when we have little fights and in the family, you know, and the father is always a terror. Make catch papa. Because catch papa. And oh, Pacho man come. That is what I saw in that whole movie when I saw distinguished honorables.
Largely, we spoke of how President Mahama and the NDC government is weaponizing state institutions to criminalize free speech and also to use the court, some elements, some judges, and then some institutions, and the imposition of repressive, onerous bail conditions. And those are the things we discussed, and it's becoming alarming. It's assuming frightening heights. So that is the more reason why you recall that a week ago we were with the Dean of Diplomatic Corps. Today we are here with the European Commission, European Union Commission as well.
What a shame. What a shame. Charlie, listen. I don't care what you think about me. I don't care what you say. I think that at this day and age in Africa, especially for an African country, that stands out as a tower of enlightenment in the whole continent, to have our MPs go to, if I say, European Union to go and make a complaint is embarrassing. Why is it embarrassing? It is embarrassing, one, because the European Union has no sway over us. So what were we supposed to do? Get frightened? Hey, Charlie, you're going to the European Union, and we are afraid of what are they going to do to us? It is senseless and useless. Listen, this is not intelligent politics. So, if the going there was part of you showing that the party is now mature and they are going to do the right thing. No, it only showed the party as neophytes. You want to check that word again. Neophytes. Moko abrofono. Moko ka. We'll tell daddy. What a shame. Look, all jokes aside, and it wasn't like we have come from an era where we were under your rule and everything was perfect. It wasn't like that, though, that under the ATS you came, there was free speech that you can't question. It wasn't like that. I don't want to go through the list for me to look like I'm doing take for tat. No, but I just want you to be conscious. You were the same people that jamed Captain Smart, 20 times, arrested? At times, Captain Smart was on air, broadcasting. You went there to pick him up. You picked up Boubier. Folks, you picked up Mohene Babuama. He was sent to jail. I don't want to go through the list of people that you picked up because I hate it when people start comparing tit for tat. That's not what I'm doing. I am not comparing tit for tat. That's not what I'm doing at all. But I'm saying that when you are mature and you know that the things that you are now complaining about, they are things you did, then find a better approach. Don't find an approach that makes you look like, as for you think you are the righteous one. As for you did the right thing. And because of these people are doing the wrong thing, I'm going to complain. No, it doesn't work like that. The history is there. There was a woman who was at the Emirates, picked up and kidnapped because she didn't hold the plane for something. Crazy things happened. People were protesting, say Galamsey, yeah. You picked them all up. You arrested all the protesters. They were sent to jail. They were detained. They were jailed.
Charlie, it's not easy.
How is it like? How is it?
Cell. 2 weeks in cell. It's damn bad.
We are not
Damn bad.
We are not our robbers. They are
How
not
can they lock us up? 2 weeks in cell.
What the fuck?
We all deserve our rights. We are Ghanaians. How is it like in cells? How is it like in the cell? We are not having it easy. We are all suffering. We deserve our rights. Feed you? Do they feed you? Not at all. We commit 2 times we ate in a day. We didn't commit any offense. We didn't commit offense. Listen, how is it like in the cells?
End it now.
end galamsey now.
In fact,
what we are saying is that
our leaders are very wicked.
And they should end
They
galamsey
are
now.
very wicked.
End it now.
Poisonous food
End
they are giving us
galamsey
to
now.
eat.
End it
They
now.
don't give us
End it
poisonous
now.
food.
End
They
it
don't
now.
end galamsey. Food did I give you? 3 days kenke. They feed us with 4 days kenke to eat. 3 people 1 sardine. 3 people 1 sardine to share.
3 sardine. 3 people 1 sardine.
3 people 1 sardine.
How many times?
Twice in a day. Twice. Condemn food.
Ghana must work
Even
again.
a deaf person will not eat that food.
You mean it? Work again. It's twice in a day. Must work again.
Twice in a day.
Ghana.
Condemn
Ghana
food.
is for us.
We never eat their food.
Ghana does
But
not
their food
belong
is
to
poisonous.
anybody.
We
Does
can
not
never
belong
eat
to
their food.
How is the condition like in the south? How is the condition like in the south?
21 people in 1 room at Abraka. Go and check today. 21 people in 1 room. Some of them go to coma. I have evidence.
Folks, try and understand me. It is very important for people to understand that I'm not saying why I am so bad. Let's do tit for tat. No, that's not what I'm talking about. I'm saying that if you're talking about the evolution of thinking, the evolution of politics, it gets to a point where you say, okay, we did this to you, so you're doing that. Now let's talk. Let's find a way of coming with the middle ground that is more sensible. It can be done. It is possible. Let's sit down and find, because the funny thing is this. As you go to the diplomatic people to complain to the president of the diplomatic mission,
the general secretary of the party and the minority leader and the president in waiting, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, sent us to come and do this peacefully. Please, Your Excellency, we need action. This government, headed by President John Dramani Mahama, does not understand that the criminal libel law was repealed and that he's brought in the state that we call the culture of silence again. Somebody says Dumso is back, you get the person arrested. This is it. And is Dumso not back, Your Excellency?
It's back.
Your Excellency, so we'll leave this to you. And then we pray that you would engage your fellow ambassadors and high commissioners.
and as you go to EU to complain to EU, in between there are threats. The table is going to turn. You have even given the lineup of the people that you arrest. I mean, come on, neophytes. You are acting like neophytes practicing politics. Patrick Kakrao, say, baby, where the Ghana, where the country is, we are looking for leadership that is determined, that is focused, that will push this country forward. We have moved past those days, oh. You'll be surprised. Yeah, if you want any understanding of where people's minds are today, look at the results of the last election, and you can understand. Say, no. You remember I said my producer was talking to somebody, was talking about one iced tea. people say now they're my iced tea. Let me tell you, people want iced tea. We know. So for me, what was shameful is that respectable people that we call honorable will march to the EU. Let me tell you something, folks. Seriously, sometimes I've been thinking. Say, I wonder what the white folks say when we have people like that meeting them. I wonder if they themselves think, say, hey, shall after the meeting, what did they say about us? The first time they went to see the Moroccan ambassador or somebody. Do you know the history of Morocco in terms of human rights abuse in Morocco? Senkawuni Morocco and the record that they have of human rights abuse, no intelligent African party said we are going to go and complain to them about human rights. Forget Morocco. Now you have escalated it. You have taken it to the European Union. Folks, do you know what they were saying after you left? you know the word nenga. It's a very, very bad word. It comes out the word, I'm sure all of you know. The black people in America, they used to call them Negroes. But before they called them Negroes, they would call them, oh, them bloody niggas, or those crazy niggas. They used to call them niggas. And then after a while, Omunya Saba was okay. Now we move them from niggas to Negroes. Now it's even gone far. Now they call them African Americans. They dare not use the word nigger in the US. No, it's a word that is a no-no. But I swear to God, when you went to see the European Union and queued up as niggers, as soon as you left, one person got a call. Oh, I've been trying to reach you. Where were you? Oh, sorry, I was talking to some niggas, man. So some niggas in Ghana came to see me. So, like I'm joking, but that's the level of disrespect they have for you. Call it niggas. You know, I mean, that's the level that we reduce ourselves to. Niggas. You know something that proved our niggerish? Remember Aisha 1, the Chinese that was doing mining, that was arrested because she was mining. She was doing galamsey in Tiachino. And when the Ghanaians were protesting against galamsey, when they too were arrested, and they sent them to Nswam. Let me tell you a very funny story. And that was told to us by Felicity Nelson. She was actually arrested for demonstrating against galamsey and taken to Nswam. Do you know what Aisha once said? I don't understand. I am here because I was doing galamsey. They arrested me and they put me in jail. But you are protesting against galamsey. They have arrested you and put you here.
One of the lady who was in Nsawam met Aisha Huang.
Aisha Huang.
And Aisha said, I was arrested for doing galamsey, and you have been arrested for saying people should stop doing galamsey. Your government is confused.
They're from the niggerish thinking, you know. So to my dear friends, honorable, respected honorables who signed the line, we are going to report Ghana. You just show them that you are nothing but a bunch of niggas, man. I don't even want to waste too much time on you. Honestly, media have advised you, and Baumia too, I'm advising you. You have told your people that you want them now to stand up and prove that they are ready to govern people.
We must now position ourselves credibly as a party preparing to govern from 7th January 2029. From this session onward, every word we speak must answer one question in the mind of the ordinary Ghanaian. Can I trust the NPP to run the country again? That is the question we must answer. The positions we take on matters that come before the House, the alternative businesses, the alternative business we bring to the floor, the private members' bills we choose to introduce, our comments to the press, and what we participate in, abstain from, or even boycott, must all be guided by one objective: convincing the people of Ghana that they can trust us to do a better job than the NDC and move this country in the direction that ensures growth while safeguarding our country for future generations. This means that our viewpoint on issues and policy must be built on strategy, careful research, and well-crafted messages before we walk into the chamber.
They are not listening to you, Baumia. They are not listening to you. What bullshit they are kind. You want them to prove that they are ready to govern? You're ready to govern and you're behaving like a neophyte? Baumia, talk to them. Let me move on. Today, folks, apart from everything else, you know, I think last week or a couple of weeks ago, I gave big up to Ablakwa for his move and everything. Today, do you know who I'm giving a big up to? ATO Forcing. Do you know why? Apart from all jokes, apart from all the political thing, ATO is forcing. I kid you not. I kid you not. Folks, before I even get to that, let me explain something. There's a difference between ingredients. Some of the ingredients, because we are going to make our benkwan, we have the ingredients for our benkwan. There's a difference between ingredients and recipe. Let me show you the difference. If you like, and I'm saying this because it's a hotel and I have a chef. And when I'm interviewing the chefs, I give them the same ingredients and then I tell them, prepare me a dish. You'll be surprised, folks. The same damn ingredients. One chef will do it and you will eat and it's beautiful. Another chef will use the same ingredients. When you taste it, you're like, what did they do? Do you know why? They both had the same ingredients, but only one had the recipe. Don't just believe that somebody says, I'm going to do this for you because I have the ingredients. No. Everybody has the ingredients, but who has the recipe? I have the ingredients for abenkwan. I need onions, I need tomatoes, I need the meat, I need pepper, I need yanam, whatever. I have the ingredients to make abenkwan. But I'll never try it because I don't have the recipe. The recipe says you put this one in first, let it boil for a little bit. Now the way then you do this. While you're doing this, you are simmering this, and when this done, then you. There's a formula. Formula different recipe. So all this talk, what am I saying to Ghanaians? Ghanaians, even in economic management, there is a formula, there is a recipe, and there are the ingredients. I kid you not. That's where Bawumia messed up a bit. Bawumia had the ingredients, so we need the stability, and we need the foreign currency, and we need this, and we need that, and then we need exchange rate.
Exchange rate movements are the most important indicator of underlying macroeconomic fundamentals. As the saying goes, when in doubt, observe the exchange rate. The lesson from history for governments is that you cannot manage the economy with propaganda. In fact, you can engage in all the propaganda you want, but if the fundamentals are weak, the exchange rate will expose you. The type of free fall that we are seeing with the cedi exchange rate is a vote of no confidence by market players in the management of the economy.
All the ingredients, but he didn't have the recipe. That's why we were left with that kind of economy when it was wise. No recipe, no. All the thing I'm saying is this. We are all talking about, hey, ATO is forcing you. What has the man done? ATO forcing took over, and then within a month or 4 months, people started seeing visible changes. Do you know why? No recipe, no. ATO had the recipe. Look, by nature, look, this man, he's an accountant. Or a trained accountant. This man understands taxes. Accountant, he understands taxes. This man is an economist. Accountant, what the taxes I say, he's an economist. And this man has a finance background. Let me tell you, man, accounts, taxes, finance, and economic background, that is a dangerous collection of ingredients. He has a recipe. So all the talk about, hey, ATO is forcing. Ghana, let me tell you why ATO is forcing. He came not with ingredients. If you come with ingredients, oh, when the city is there, then the dollar will exchange you, blah, blah, blah. Ingredients, if you have a recipe, ATO put together an amazing recipe, and that is why the currency was improving, the stability of the rate, exchange rate, everything was improving because he had the recipe. And I don't want to talk too much, He had said something. I usually do not do this, something that somebody has said, but permit me once. ATO is forcing. So for this program, I just want us to sit down and listen. I want you to listen to what he inherited as finance minister. For all reasoning, Ofurata did not have the recipe, neither did they have the ingredients. Some have the ingredients, but they don't have the recipe. Some do not have the recipe, they don't have the ingredients. And that's why we inherited what we inherited. So let me just pause for just a few minutes, 5 minutes, whatever. I just want you to listen to, from the horse's own mouth, what they inherited. Masato, force.
Mr. Speaker, I come before this House to provide an update on the substantial progress we have made in restoring macroeconomic stability and debt sustainability ahead of the original timeline. Right Honorable Speaker, this address will also announce a new chapter in Ghana's engagement with the International Monetary Fund. Mr. Speaker, it is a consequential moment in President Mahama's reset agenda, and indeed, in the life of our nation. It signifies Ghana's passage from crisis management to stability, from dependence on financial bailout to partnership in reform, and from uncertainty to renewed confidence in our economic future. Right Honorable Speaker, to appreciate the magnitude of this moment, we must briefly recall the gravity of crisis that Ghana faced in the year 2022. Mr. Speaker, on the 1st of July 2022, the previous administration turned to the IMF for a financial bailout after their gross mismanagement of the economy had driven the country into fiscal and balance of payment crisis. Mr. Speaker, the then NDC flag bearer acknowledged the decision as necessary, though a belated intervention to arrest the decline and to ease the severe hardship being borne by the people of Ghana through no fault of theirs. The scale of that crisis was profound. It was traumatic, if not distressing and devastating. The city came under intense pressure. Inflation rose to painful levels. Investor confidence deteriorated sharply. External reserves were strained, and Ghana lost access to the international capital market. As a result, credit rating agencies responded by downgrading Ghana's sovereign credit rating repeatedly in 2022 to levels never seen in our country's history. Right Honorable Speaker, in February 2022, Moody's downgraded Ghana to CAA1 from B-. In August 2022, S&P downgraded Ghana to CCC+. Again, in August 2022, Fitch downgraded Ghana to CCC. Mr. Speaker, in the same year, September 2022, Fitch again downgraded Ghana from CCC to CC, signifying the severeness of the situation. Finally, in 2022, October, Ghana lost access to the international capital market, with Ghana's Eurobond spread widening to all-time high of 3,400 basis points. Right Honorable Speaker, this further deepened the economic crisis and the financial crisis to the point that the Ghana Cocoa Board was unable to secure a syndicated loan for the first time in many years, after 33 years, in fact. Also, some domestic commercial banks could no longer obtain external funding or establish letters of credit, as international banks declined to confirm these instruments. Mr. Speaker, on the 5th of December 2022, following the announcement that Ghana could no longer meet its maturing domestic debt obligation, the NPP administration then introduced the Domestic Debt Exchange Program, DDEP, imposing significant haircut on domestic bondholders. Right Honorable Speaker, on the 13th of December 2022, Ghana formally requested debt treatment under the G20 Common Framework in order to restructure its bilateral debt portfolio of more than $5 billion United States dollars. Mr. Speaker, on the 19th of December 2022, the NPP administration again defaulted on the servicing of Ghana's external commercial debt obligation. The Speaker, the far-reaching haircut affected the Bank of Ghana, commercial banks, non-bank financial institutions, pension funds, insurance companies, individual bondholders, and even pensioners were not spared. Right, Honorable Speaker, ordinary Ghanaians bore the heaviest burden of that crisis. The consequences were felt across households, businesses, and institutions through rapid depreciation of the currency, runaway inflation of more than 50%, massive erosion of disposable incomes and savings, painful haircut on domestic bondholders, including pensioners, punitive interest rates that constrained private sector activity, the imposition of nuisance taxes, including e-levy, betting tax, COVID-19 levy, and emission tax. Speaker, we witnessed job losses, business distress, and weakened investor confidence, and a sharp rise in poverty and economic insecurity. Right, Honorable Speaker, in the midst of all these hardships imposed on the people of Ghana, the government of the day then remained bloated, purposefully inefficient, and riddled with waste. Mr. Speaker, by December 2024, those responsible proceeded to undermine the very IMF program they themselves had signed to correct the mess that was imposed on the people of Ghana, missing targets and commitment under the IMF program. That was the depth of the crisis that we inherited. Mr. Speaker, it is important to recount this, to dwell on the past, not to dwell on the past, but to remind ourselves of the heavy price of fiscal indiscipline and economic recklessness, and to affirm our collective resolve that Ghana must never again return to that path. So, Speaker, let me take that again. It's important to recount that it's important for us to recount, not to dwell on the past, but to remind ourselves of the heavy price of fiscal indiscipline and economic recklessness, and to affirm our collective resolve that Ghana must never return to that path. Right, Honorable Speaker, some painful experiences cannot be taught. They must be lived to be understood. But once experienced, never again should they be repeated. The Speaker, never again should the people of Ghana be made to go through such horrible experiences.
You see, so I just wanted us to hear what he inherited, what he had to work with. And I just also want to draw your attention to that. I call him the no-frills minister. Only frills ibiao, no swaba, no kind of budget. He's focused on work. Oba no kind of budget, no frills. Friend is saying, in carbon budget, and it has all budget, puntual budget, no frills. Or in the bag no kind of budget. But he's focused on what? Building the nation. Correcting the wrong things. I just want you to listen a bit to what he inherited, and I'm glad he said it. And let me say it confidently right now, from the way the behavior of NPP, if it was the NPP that had inherited this economy that ATO just described, would have been on the headline of every newspaper for the whole year. This is what we inherited. This is the mess. This is the clueless NDC. This is what they will hammer and hammer and hammer and hammer. Even after being overthrown with such a massive defeat in the position, they still are hammering that the tables are going to turn so that they can come back. Let me focus on ATO forcing. So we just saw where the country was. We saw what he inherited. Now we are here today. What has he done so far? And where do we go from here? Listen to more.
Right, Honorable Speaker. Upon assuming office, President Mahama's administration moved with clarity and purpose to reset the Ghanaian economy and bring the IMF-supported program back on track. Mr. Speaker, we recalibrated the IMF program to ensure fairer burden sharing and deeper structural reforms. Among the several measures we undertook in 2025 as follows. Mr. Speaker, first, we introduced the Public Financial Management Act and introduced commitment authorization to control government expenditure. Mr. Speaker, we audited government arrests and payables to eliminate recycled IPCs and overpayment. We stopped the misuse of tax refund account to finance schemes such as SML. Mr. Speaker, we amended the PFM Act to institutionalize a 1.5% of GDP primary surplus and 45% debt to GDP by 2034. Right, Honorable Speaker, we introduced the gold board to enhance FX stability and reserve accumulation. We operationalized the sinking fund with dedicated CD and US dollar buffer to manage future debt maturities. Mr. Speaker, we removed nuisance taxes such as e-levy, betting tax, emission tax, and VAT on motor insurance to support private sector activity. We also established the Office for Value for Money to improve public expenditure efficiency. We established the Independent Fiscal Council to check compliance with fiscal rules. Mr. Speaker, not all. We introduced IPP renegotiation. We concluded IPP renegotiation, saving over 250 million United States dollars and cleared over 1 billion United States dollars in legacy arrests in the energy sector. We also reduced ministers of state from 123 later to 88 to now 60. Mr. Speaker, we reduced government ministries from 30 to 23. Right, Honorable Speaker, I'm pleased to report that these measures have produced clear and measurable results. Mr. Speaker, real GDP growth reached 6% in 2025. Most importantly, non-real GDP growth reached 7.6%, the highest in 14 years. For the first time, Ghana's economy crossed the 100 billion United States dollar threshold in 2025, making it fully fledged emerging market economy. Mr. Speaker, Ghana's economy is now ranked the 8th largest in Africa. Ghana's per capita income increased to $3,385 for the first time. Again, Mr. Speaker, the primary balance recorded a surplus of 2.5% of GDP in 2025. Our public debt to GDP reduced to 44.7% at the end of 2025, ahead of the schedule 2034. Mr. Speaker, Ghana achieved the debt to GDP target of 45%, well ahead of the IMF program of debt rule target by 2034. Our debt service to domestic revenue improved considerably from 55.7% in 2022 to 28.8% in 2025, even with the resumption of full Eurobond obligations in 2025. Right, Honorable Speaker, Ghana achieved a moderate risk of debt distress from high risk of debt distress under our debt sustainability analysis, the first time in 12 years. The Speaker, inflation declined now to 3.4% in April 2026. 91-day Treasury bill has declined by over 2,300 basis points from 28.4% in January 2025 to 4.8% in April 2026. Mr. Speaker, the 2-year, 3-year, and 5-year bonds are now trading in the range of 11%, 12.6% compared to 20% in the previous year at the secondary market. Mr. Speaker, monetary policy rate has declined by 1,300 basis points from 27% in January 2025 to 14% in April 2026. Mr. Speaker, the current account recorded a surplus of 8.7% of GDP as at December 2025. And most important, Mr. Speaker, our currency appreciated by 40.7% against the US dollar in one single year, in the year 2025. But Mr. Speaker, these results affirm a simple but enduring truth. Mr. Speaker, fiscal prudence and discipline always delivers results. Fiscal prudence and discipline always delivers results. Right, Honorable Speaker, macroeconomic stability is not an abstract policy objective. It is the foundation for jobs, income, investor confidence, and national prosperity. It is also the lesson we must carry forward if we are to ensure that the people of Ghana never relives the hardships of 2022. Prudence does not mean we are failing to spend, Mr. Speaker. We can only spend what we have. Prudence is the difficult road for wealth creation. Mr. Speaker, prudence does not mean we are failing to spend. We can only spend what we have. Prudence is the difficult road to wealth creation. Right, Honorable Speaker, on the 77th Annual New Year School on the 6th of January 2025, President Mahama stated that it is my hope that this will be the very last time we ever go for an IMF bailout program. It must be the 17th and the last time that Ghana goes for a bailout from the IMF. the President further noted that we will continue our collaboration with the IMF under Article 4 and other instruments. I repeat, no further IMF financial bailout is currently required in the foreseeable future. Right Honourable Speaker, we have evolved from the position of supplicant to one of a partner with the International Monetary Fund. Mr. Speaker, it is therefore my singular honor to announce to the House that Ghana has successfully concluded the final review of the current financial bailout program pending approval by the IMF Executive Board. Mr. Speaker, as Ghana moves beyond the extended credit facility, our engagement with the International Monetary Fund will transition to a reform-focused, non-financing policy coordination instrument. Mr. Speaker, the policy coordination instrument is a non-financing IMF instrument designed for countries that do not require IMF financing, but seek a credible framework for reform, regular policy reviews, and a stronger signal to investors and development partners. For Ghana, this marks an important shift from seeking financial bailout to engaging as a credible reform partner, while continuing to benefit from policy discipline, external validation, and strengthened investor confidence. Mr. Speaker, the PCI will enable us to continue leveraging the IMF's regular policy assessment and expertise as a signal to investors, thereby certifying the credibility of our stewardship and further strengthening our credit rating. In other words, Mr. Speaker, Ghana has moved from the intensive care unit to the wellness center. Mr. Speaker, that's simple. We have moved from ICU to wellness center. Wellness center, from ICU to where you are well, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, to build on this hard-won foundation of stability, President Mahama's administration has designed a new economic program, the New Economy, to be unveiled as part of the 2027 budget. Mr. Speaker, the New Economy will move Ghana from stabilization to transformation, with a clear focus on sustainable jobs, higher productivity, greater resilience, and broad-based prosperity. Right Honourable Speaker, President Mahama is grateful to the people of Ghana for their sacrifice, patience, and steadfast forbearance. We do not take their support for granted. The Speaker, our solemn pledge is that we will not be complacent. We will continue the hard work of building the Ghana we want. May God bless our homeland, Ghana. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Two things, or many things, but the few things that really touch my heart is the assurance that no more IMF. Is the assurance that we can do it. We need discipline. We need focus. We need determination. And I really, really do hope that we are done with IMF. Never in our history. We haven't run to them as we did before. This talking about going to IMF scares me a little bit, and I hope I can trust him on that. You know why it scares me? Because we heard the same from King of Satire. Listen to him.
As my colleague, Deputy Minister said, we are not going to the IMF. Whatever we do, we are not. The consequences are there. We are a proud nation. We have the resources. We have the capacity. Don't let anybody tell you. So let's think of us as who we are, a proud, strong people, the shining star of Africa, and we have the capacity to do what we want to do.
Yeah, after being a proud nation, everything, and we went back to IMF. So I am hoping that you are forcing enough so that we never end up back with the IMF. Folks, I'm wrapping up. I just decided today, I want us to understand something. That we are not doing neophyte politics anymore. We are building the nation. So everybody who's thinking neophyte politics, start thinking again. I won't mention his name, but I just read something that somebody had posted on social media about how nothing is happening and everything. And I even promised myself that I won't comment, because even the commentary under that statement, the Quran, if he's reading the commentary, he will know that he's nothing but a neophyte. I won't mention his name. Folks, we are building the nation. We have no more room for neophytes. If you're a neophyte, just keep quiet and learn, because we be a chronoduno. Ain't no stopping us now. Like I said, we are heading towards 70. And I don't want the last thing we do as a 70-year-old African country is that we are going to the European Union to go make complaints. Never again. So honestly, I just did this episode. You know, I've done one and picked up Blackwood. This one was just to focus a bit on ATO. Because on no kasa, no frills, he's just focused on work. So I want him, and I'm very, very confident I'm speaking for all Ghanaians if we say, we thank you for the focus. We do. And we appreciate the depth from which he has lifted this country. And we are going forward. Yeah, there'll be problems here and there. Who doesn't have it? Even as I talk now, Americans are complaining, say they are paying too much for fuel. As I speak now. You have relatives there, call them and ask them about their complaints about gas. So what? What won't we expect to happen to Ghana? But that is not the point. The point is we have a finance minister who has the recipe and the ingredients. And he has a correct mixture. The man has a background in taxes, accounting, finance, and economics. Let us stick together and make sure never again do we reverse this cycle. Ghana has risen.